Good morning, Roy.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. We got a spicy little session happening right now.
We do. If you look, I made a little zone where we were a little consolidation area overnight. So we're going to see. Last time we came back up here, we rejected it. So fixing to test it again. We zoom out a little bit. Let's get out, and you can see we got a zone at the high here. So this is an area we could possibly look at for shorts. We definitely want to see a trend break before we do anything. So we get up here, we're not initially just shorting. We're going to wait and see what happens. If it breaks through it, we actually might take a long to try to run up to this 94 to 97 area. So, book map showing a good bit of order at 57, 80, and 85 area. And then it's showing 5,800 with a 100 or so, 5,805, 5,820. All the really big orders, you got these orders right below us. You got some at 57.70. And then you don't have anything again till you get down to like 57.32 and 57.15. So, which
So,
that
next
57.32, if
scenario,
you look, it would come right in this bottom zone too, where we would look for support.
right?
So,
Granted, we are pre-market on a Monday, but it would appear that looking at those, you'd get a pop up and a potential fade back. Is what
yeah,
you're looking. Yeah, I think they get a. Yeah, Friday was a wild one. That was a fun, wacky time. Probably a good
yeah,
day to take it off as far as streaming because it just. But the zones that you'd drawn before, you want to recap those, see how they held up.
yeah. We can go back. Let's look at pull the hourly up, and then you can see this zone here we drew on for September 16th. You can see it test again 17th, it tests again on the 18th, and then it's held every time. So if we ever do make it back to this 5670 area, you can see this is going to be very, very solid support, it looks like. You got a zone here. Uh, this one we drew out, you can see here, tested, came back. This was the news candle here, so it popped up above it. What was that? That was FOMC. Popped up above it, came back. But then you can see it held here, then they broke out of it, came back, tested a support. And then, like I said, we've got a new area I drew right here. This is where we're coming into now. This is kind of our intermediate short area. Want to see kind of how it plays out there. And then we've got this all-time high here. But yeah, the levels have been phenomenal. They've held up really great. So today is a day about being patient, not rushing. If you can look here so far, we've hit this level here, and we've rejected a little bit so far. So, but we got 20 minutes to open. You got manufacturing PMI coming out at 8:45. So my goal is to kind of chill, possibly be like Roy says a lot. Let's wait for this 15-minute orb to develop, and that 15-minute orb is going to actually close right at news. So it's going to give us a
Right.
good sign of what we could see happening after that. We've got a few speakers today. We've got a few speakers all week. Me and Roy's kind of talking pre-market. It's like hell they couldn't talk for a day or two, and they are just on it now. They're going to talk. And then, of course,
Yeah.
Led brought up a thing this morning in our Discord group about Thursday. Thursday is a day. Thursday is actually one of those days you possibly could see us have a stream and not take a trade.
Yeah. Uh, Thursday can get yourself blown up pretty quick, especially on leveraged instruments like futures.
Yep.
Um,
So this week's going to
just
be
being
interesting to see
interesting.
where we're hanging around the all-time highs. Rollover is done, so we shouldn't have to worry about any of that anymore. All your volume is in the December contract, so it should be a very good week as far as just being able to look at the chart, look at volume, and kind of get an idea of what's going on. CVD is
Yeah.
starting. It was negative a little while ago. It's up to positive 1,000 now. So before pre-market, so that's actually kind of strong for pre-market CVD.
Kind of going back to the events of the week, you actually have Micron reporting Wednesday after the close, and Costco reporting Thursday after the close.
As long as they leave them hot dogs the same price.
I enjoyed the Atlanta Falcons tribute yesterday with the
I didn't see it.
hot dogs. Yeah, so they had free hot dogs or super cheap hot dogs. I can't recall, but it was in honor of Arthur Blank inducting himself into the Ring of Honor for. But they one of the guest of honors was Joey Chestnut.
Ah,
I found it pretty comical.
a friend of the Ole Miss family.
Oh, really? I didn't know you.
Yeah, he was at our spring game. They did a hot dog eating contest where he actually didn't. He wasn't supposed to be eating the hot dog contest, but one of the linemen were struggling, so he took over him and won it for him. So
that's funny. Yeah, good time.
Yeah, this morning we're, as expected, we're getting to this level and we're kind of struggling at it. So this shows you your zone are pretty daggum good on when you draw them out right.
Well, you draw them, and it's so easy to jump in and say, okay, we broke out of the highs from the current previous consolidation. Time to jump in and ride that thing to the high. Could still play out, but having that zone above would put the brakes on it and say, well, maybe we should. That's where you should be selling, not where you should be buying. And so many times I've caught myself on the wrong end of that.
Yes, me too. So I hadn't made a trade this morning. Well, I did see this VWAP test a couple times here, and I thought about it, but then I was like, you know what? Let's just wait and see. There's no sense in jumping the gun, and it did hold. I mean, if you would have took here, you could have gotten 5 or 6 points, and then here you could have gotten almost 10 points. So VWAP seems to be holding so far. So kind of what we'll look at here if we do reject this area at open. If VWAP holds, that would be another spot. You could possibly look for a long from VWAP back up to this zone, and at this zone is where you got to really be careful to have either your take profit pretty close or your stops pretty close, so you don't turn a green trade red. But like I said, that's just if VWAP holds. Who knows what's going to actually happen once we open? What was the big sell-off overnight? Did you see any news that came out at 2?
As Europe open, let me look what VIX did. I assume VIX popped, but well, honestly, I didn't know what the buy was from Globex for the open.
You had UK, so the buy happened. You had UK Services PMI and Composite PMI all come out. So that was all the UK PMI came out here is when we got the pop back. As far as numbers on this, I'm kind of scrolling back through. Okay, you had Germany's manufacturing PMI came out, and France's manufacturing PMI came out.
Yeah, interesting from a pure chart standpoint. I know you can't show it on here, but the VIX had the gap up at the open this morning, and now it's entered its gap back down. So it gapped up from about 1610-ish to 1670-ish. So I had a 60-cent gap up, and now you're at 1632. So it's just trickled its way back down. So probably fills that gap, which then coincides with a high a day test.
Oh wow, man, it did pop up, didn't it?
Yeah.
And it's been on a steady decline since.
So
one thing to note though, so you had a gap up, and then they're coming back to retest Friday's open range on VIX. That held last Friday too, so that was kind of the support level last Friday, looks like. Interesting.
Just had news come through. Financial Juice's Twitter. France has asked European Commission for further delay in submitting its budgetary plans for next few years. That was 2
Yeah, I
minutes
saw
ago.
that.
So they need a little extension on the report.
That's always nice.
Yeah. Yeah, these
Oh,
Fed speakers are going to be the landmines more often now, because I think you're going to get mixed. You're going to get a lot of mixed signals. The market's
yeah.
going to be a bit confused.
Yeah, you got Goolsby speaking at 9:15, so that's something to watch. You got the 6-month and 3-month bill auction at 10:30. Typically, that's not a lot to it. So, but then you got Cash Carey speaking at lunch at 12, and then tomorrow you've got HPI composite coming out at 8. House price index. You got Bowman speaking. You got the house price index. Let's see. This is all right at 8. You got 9 o'clock. You got Richmond manufacturing shipments, manufacturing index, CB consumer confidence for September coming out, which is a big number. Something to keep
That's a big
on.
one. Yeah.
You have a 2-year note auction. Anytime you get into your note auctions is when you really need to pay attention and look at this daggum plane playing off that zone. So, we just go through all news. Wednesday, you got 30-year mortgage rates, which you are seeing them come back since interest rates were dropped. New home sales at 9, building permits at 7:30, new home sales at 9, more new home sales at month over month for 9. Any crude traders, you got gas and crude, you got gas inventories and crude imports coming in, Cushing oil inventory, sorry, crude oil inventory. So that's actually big numbers if you do trade that. You get the 5-year note auction. Like I said, any note auction is going to be definitely something to keep an eye on. So you got the 5-year note auction on Wednesday at 12. Thursday is just a complete, it's a cluster of news. It's all day, all morning anyway. You got durable goods, which is a big number. You got durables excluding defense. You got consumer spending, initial jobless claims. You got PCE prices. You got GDP price index. You got core PCE, goods orders, non-defense ex air, core durable goods orders. You got continuing jobless claims, and then you got jobless claims of 4-week average. You got GDP. Then when all that's done, you think, oh, we're out of the woods. It's right at open. Nope. You got Collins speaking, Bowman speaking, Powell speaking, and then Williams speaking, all within 15 minutes of each other. So right at open Thursday should be something just insane. You got pending home sales coming out at 9, which is more news. Then you got, I think you got another break. Nope. Then you got Barr and Cook speaking at 9:30. You got the KC Fed manufacturing index. You got Yellen speaking. You got 4-week and 8-week bill auctions with the 7-year note auction. Then you got Barr, Cash Carey speaking. You got reserve balances, the Fed's balance sheet, and then you got Cook speaking. That's all on Thursday.
Whew.
Friday, you think you get a little break, but then we got core PC coming out, which is going to be something. You got real personal consumption. You got the goods trade balance. You got PCE price index coming out month over month. Retail inventories again coming out. You got Michigan 1-year inflation expectations coming out. 5-year inflation expectations coming out. Consumer sentiment. You got Atlanta Fed GDP. You got Bowman speaking again. And then you've got like some crude numbers coming out, some copper numbers coming out, gold, corn. So if you trade any of the other stuff, you got all that coming out with corn, soybeans, aluminum, silver, wheat, all of that, speculatives coming out. So this week is just jam-packed with news and data and just everything going on. So enjoy today.
Yeah, so with that being said, you're gonna get a host of technicals, probably technical stuff today.
Yeah.
Well, technicals are every day, but I think your fundamental hat needs to be on really Thursday and Friday, especially, but even tomorrow with that consumer confidence is, I mean, any consumer data right now is going to be super important to the market. Um,
Yeah. Pay special attention to all the jobless numbers coming out, even knowing
yeah.
we know they'll be revised later. They still make it right now. So,
Look at this
oh
rejection.
man, we've come down 7 points off that zone so far.
Looks like they're gonna try and open this thing at VWAP.
Yeah, and here's a little thing to look at too. If you were to take a short, so you wouldn't automatically take on this candle at 8, right? This one that rejected, even though in this you see this wick up here, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had a little more volume come in. You see this wick, so this is telling you, hey, this is a pretty big spot. This is the candle. This 805 candle is the one that you would have traded. So it gave you the same wick, same way it came down. So once this candle closed, if you was doing the maple stacks, if you was doing his candle by candle theory, you would have. This is another something else. This is why I say you need to have a bunch of different ways you can trade. So you can draw a line there, and then you would draw a line that high, and then look, it came right back up to this high, rejected back down. There was your entry right there on the 57, 75, 50 area when it came back down.
Mm.
So didn't trade it pre-market. I would love to see this same move at market open, and then you could take the candle by candle, and I would feel a lot more comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Pre-market, just with the little bit of volume, it's just, yeah, it came back perfect, but it also is pre-market, so it could actually turn on you pretty quick without giving you much indication.
So, kind of asking this question again. Accidentally moved my stuff. So you drew your zone though based on pre-market, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Or sorry, after our session, really. So would that
Right.
make more sense to then that it would actually play out stronger? Because it is apples for apples. At this case, the volume is um, obviously going to pick up a little bit right now as we head closer to open, but it seems like the trade would actually be better in pre-market than it would be in regular session.
It can still turn you so quick. I mean, yes, it played out
Yeah, of
perfect. So
course.
hindsight, you can look at it and say, yes, it was great. But
Yeah.
in pre-market, you don't ever know when you're getting influx. So let's say that something happens in Europe and everybody closes it
Mhm.
short, right? Well, you're going to spike
Right.
crazy because you have a ton of volume come in at a random time when there's not enough volume to hold it back. So you just got to be
Right.
careful in pre-market because there's not enough institutions buying right now to. You've got a few institutions moving the market the way they want to move the market, but your
Mhm.
big boys are not playing right now. Your big boys are
Right.
they're drinking coffee and they're talking and telling stories about the weekend right now. So you want to let that play out. And CBD's come all the way back down to 300. So
Mhm.
little miss drop, which that shows you there. If you get the same move and open, CBD's negative at this point. If you get the same move, and it's not, it's only dropped 600 points or so. So and that shows you there's not just not much going on with it. It's just safer. It's anytime you're trading, if
Yeah.
you're
No,
trading
it's
market,
discipline. Yeah.
Globex, it's a dangerous time to trade just because anything can move the market so easily.
It's one of those bad habits I'm still fighting. When this stream's helped because I've had to show my hands um, to avoid trading this kind of low chart because the formations are so beautiful, right? The zone rejection was so nice. It just looks so obvious, but
Yep.
uh, A lot of times in this session, it's a bit difficult. But no, I was interested to see if you actually take into account where you're drawing your zones. So you drew your
I
zone
do,
based on pre-market, and so
but here's one of the reasons I drew this zone in pre-market. So you can see here we spiked, and let's take this zone and let's move it left. And just take a little scroll back down memory lane and see what happened from this zone. You can see here, if you look back further, you can see it's played, let me get over so you can actually see it. It's played support here, then it turned into resistance a little, broke it, and then it's support again.
yeah.
If you move your zones out left, you can always see these zones are tested multiple times. They give you a bigger view. I like to leave it where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
So when I come back and look, I can actually see what level I drew the zone on. Because if you have it back left, you don't actually see where you drew your zone. So now I know exactly where my zone was drawn at.
Gotcha.
But yeah, these zones it's subjective. People do them different ways. I think I sent y'all the thing the other day. I think it was Riley Coleman, what was his name?
Yeah, I
Who's
enjoyed
really
some
good
of
at
his videos.
showing you how you do this stuff. So it's but if you look at 10 different traders, you're gonna see 10 different ways people draw zones.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not saying that any of them are wrong or any of them are right. It's just subjective. And it I could draw, like, let's say I have a zone here, right? Well, let's say somebody else has a zone here. Well, both of these zones are accurate, right? Because look, you got resistance, now support. Same thing here. So I just like to find the extreme highs. Like here's an extreme high. This is not an extreme high. This is consolidation at an extreme high. So I would think this level would be stronger than this level, but this level's proven to be a good spot. Just I'm trying to raise my percentages. Shorting here, I think, is a lot better idea than shorting here, which you can see you would have been stopped out a few times if you were trying to short this area. So, and then if you want to draw fibs from your overnight high to this extreme low here, and you can see that we've came back 618. Look, it was perfect right there this morning.
Wow.
It's amazing how those work. And then the 786 was great until we finally broke it here. Now we're back, in between the 786 and 618. So it's a lot of different ways to look at this. And honestly, you could probably take your fibs and turn these off where you don't even see these numbers, just have lines, and they would still, you could trade just off the areas, not looking for, hey, I'm looking for a short here. You could be looking for a short here, but then once this held and you see all these lower wicks, this would be a good level right here, this 57, 59, 25, which is right at the 3825, take longs. And then now your 0.50 here looks like it's turned to support. So it could be a spot. Now this 618 looks like it might have turned to support. So this could be a spot to long. And you're just playing on the opposite of what they're actually intended for, but just figure out what works for you and use it and trade it and be good with it. Hope that made sense. A lot of talk. So
no, it does. Hey, the beauty of it is, right? We had mentioned this on a previous stream where not one strategy. There is no one all end all be all strategy. So you just went through about 3 or 4 different ones just in that little state. Just talking, and that's why you gotta not pick one and stick with it, but you gotta know what the chart is trying to tell you, and then use the strategy. That you
yeah, I'm not telling anybody
your odds.
Yeah, I'm not telling anybody to swap strategies and change all the time, but know a few different ones and know what you're looking for, and don't blindly trade them, but know, hey, this is a good spot. So now looking, and you can see this is back where this little zone we drew earlier. It was, had a consolidation area here, resistance, 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 broke through it, but came right back down under it. So this could actually be a great spot to look to short now. And also, it's right below the 786. So you've got a few things here. You got your EMA clusters. So you got three different signals, and I don't know what just happened here. I didn't like that.
Currently at point of control too at this level. So you got
There's four.
everything.
Yeah, you're looking at four different things. So this is why I say it's good to know different strategies. And I'm not saying, like I said, don't jump from strategy to strategy to strategy, but know what you're looking at, because there's so many different things that can tell you. And look, I know Led and Roy and them, they use the MACD. I'm not a MACD guy, but if you use the MACD and you use it with something else, great. You know, it's added confluence to your trade.
Yeah, I'm trying to be much better about trying to describe why I went into something instead of just saying, "Oh, candle go green, candle look red."
Yeah, Roy says, I mean, Howie says in the text here says, for sure, you can pick one and back test it, honor your stop, take profit, and stay consistent. Absolutely, that's the key. So, no matter what strategy you are trying to use, honor your stop loss. Stop loss is the major one you got to honor. You've got to make sure, hey, if my stop loss, and I move my stop loss. So I know a lot of people do, hey, I'm doing 4 points, I'm doing 5 points, 2 points, whatever your thing is, honor it. Mine is, hey, I'm looking at this. If it breaks here, I'm looking for my thesis to be invalidated. So if I have let's say that I enter a short right now at the 57.75 area. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to put a stop at 57. I'm going to do a 2-point stop, 57.77. Well, if you notice, it hadn't even hit that zone yet. So my thesis could actually still be correct, and I get stopped out. That's why you see a lot of people that do man, these paper cuts kill me. I just keep getting stopped out. I keep getting stopped out. Well, are you just doing a hard stop at 2, 3, 4 points, whatever it is? Or are you doing a stop at, hey, here, and then once it breaks, like let's say it breaks this level, well, then of course my thesis is invalidated until it gets back up here. So there's different ways to look at it. I like looking at level or something that just proves that I was wrong, not just a couple points here or there. Let's see what Howie says. Back. Tracking your risk reward, Howie, yes, that is great. It says making sure it's high enough, the win rate to grow my account. Actually, I don't even think the risk reward part is great. The win rate is, I've seen it, and I was actually scrolling through some stuff yesterday, and I saw this. And it's a great point. Since Howie brought this up, it's perfect to go in this. So I've seen people with 80, 85, 90% win rates whose accounts are negative or just, barely green because their risk reward is not set right. If you can have a 90% win rate, but if you're one reward or two risk, right? If you're risking more than what your reward is, well, you're not gaining anything by it. Look at this open, it's going to pop back now. So we're going to wait and see. But then I've also seen people with 60, 65% win rate who have thousands and thousands of dollars in their account because their risk reward is, it's 1 risk to 3 reward or 1 to 4. So you don't have to be perfect. Let's see. I got some combines up this morning. I've been having a lot more luck trading my XFAs a little bit later, so I'm not going to rush an XFA this morning.
Yeah, they've definitely been. I'd say the trades have been a bit clearer later in the day. Morning,
Yeah,
as normal, just gets a little muddy. So
CVD is opened at negative 1200.
let's see, market tide. Again, 1 minute in, can't really read too much into this, but I can't even actually read anything into it. What we got? Tide's all jacked up. We'll let that play out. So pushing it down.
So it looks like we're fixing to get this VWAP test, possibly. So let's see what happens after it.
Yeah, NQ is testing VWAP now on a much different candle than ES.
It's crazy the difference between NQ and ES opens every day here the last few weeks.
Yeah.
They have been so different. VIX with a huge spike at open. Nvidia pop, Apple's coming back. We're back to our half red, half green Mag 7.
Fun.
So right now we're breaking VWAP. Let's see if it holds. We got 2.5 minutes still left in this candle. Last for giggles, let's take a look at a 1 minute. I normally don't trade 1 minute, but you can actually get some very interesting looks on the 1 minute. I do not suggest you look at the 1 minute all the time, but I do like looking at it from time to time. You can see you have a little area here, which is right where we bounced on so far. So let's check out the 3 minute. 3 minute looks like it's going to test. Yep, it's testing VWAP, bouncing back above it. This was this little zone we was talking about on the 1 minute that we saw. You can see here. On the 3 minute, you can see it a lot better, and it's right at the 6 minute.
3 minute shows strength here.
5 minute shows you the exact same thing. You can see right here it came down this level, bounce. So this is a pretty strong candle here, back above VWAP. So we will see what happens here.
Nice bounce.
But I'm not. Yeah, I'm not doing anything till after we get the news here at 8:45. So
yeah, let that orb settle in.
Yep.
No need to rush.
Very, very strong candle though. My gosh, NQ had what is that, a 40-point candle?
Yeah. It's coming back a little bit, but would you would assume didn't quite get it didn't break VWAP on NQ, so it got close, hit that 8 on the 3 minute, and then kind of petered back, but it's not exactly dying. It'll be interesting to see what it does here. How high did that candle get? Got to 75, rejected.
Yeah. 75.50. So still looking. Let's see what happens here. We've got a few seconds for this candle closes. Actually, it's not as pretty of a candle as it started out to be. It looked ugly, then it came back, looked like, oh man, this is going to be a strong candle. And it came back just kind of blah. This is why you don't trade. Just, yes, you could make money on the open. So much could happen. Back testing the VWAP again.
Yeah, kind of a nasty candle.
Yeah.
NQ kind of coming down.
Oh, NQ, yes.
NQ with a gross candle. Bottom of the Bollinger Band right now.
And VIX with the ugly candle, to be honest with you, it's green, but it's definitely a longer upper wick on it. Interesting. Very, very interesting.
Looks like you guys finding a little support there.
Yeah, right at this little level here. This is what shows you, it was resistance, then turns support.
Mm-hmm. Got 9 minutes till the orb.
And 9 minutes till data.
What's our
So
range? Range so far is pretty tight.
wow. And so MOO imbalance opened up with S&P 500 was plus 150 million. NASDAQ was minus 10 million. The Dow was plus 15 million, and the Magnificent Seven was plus 5 million. Interesting.
Yeah, that does not show on the chart,
No.
but it could basically see some of the move that came in. More people were looking to get out, and then
Yep.
the orders were sitting there. Let's look around. How's our boy Apple? Interesting chart. Looks like it's coming back after its little death drop. The close on Apple was pretty interesting on Friday. I don't know if you followed that. It had about a $4 move, $5 move.
I did catch that at the end. That was very. What rumor was that Buffett sold more?
Yeah, I don't think it was ever confirmed.
So this little trend I'm watching, if you watch Riley Coleman, he's like, hey, you look for a trend break right before, and then you look for a candle.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not the strongest of trends. We've only got a couple spots on it where it's hitting. I mean,
Yeah.
you could say a little here if it holds, but this is definitely what I want to see here. This little area break, and then if it breaks, then we get a bearish candle would be a reason to go short. And then I would actually look for if we do enter a short. So you would just follow. Let's say you just enter when it breaks this little zone here. So let's draw a zone out. Let's take it from up there. So if this zone breaks is what we're looking for, this little where we've been support and resistance, right? So if we was to break here, say you enter at 64, first target would be like this 59.25 area. And another thing, if you do enter at this 64 area, I would put my stop back up at this trend. Because that's when your thesis is invalidated. And of course, you could adjust this a little differently. And of course, it's going to look a little different. All right, now we're catching 1, 2, 3, 4 different points here. So this is probably a little stronger trend. And you can see we broke below it. So now we would look for a retest and a breakdown with the ugly candle there, and we would definitely look at it short. But we've got 5 minutes of data, so I'm not entering anything yet. So
NQ's about to test VWAP. It's struggling to get up there though. It can't really break this 8 EMA. Keeps rejecting it, which is right under VWAP. So
so look right here. It's amazing how this stuff works out. We've tested this trend so far, and it's rejecting it so far.
Yeah.
But like I said, we've got data coming out in 4 minutes, so there is no need to take a chance on anything. But you can see it's struggling at this trend line.
Yeah, here comes NQ starting to finally break above.
And you've had a pretty volume wise has been really nice first opening 2 candles here. Of course, like I said, we rollover is complete, so you're getting
true participation.
oh yeah, true participation here. So if you haven't, please like and subscribe to the channel. Like, comment, share. Let's do it all. we're slowly creeping up every day. We get a few more followers, so we're not breaking records, but we're building a nice little base here, and we appreciate all of y'all joining us
Yeah,
for sure.
we're having fun.
Whether you're watching us live or you're watching a replay later.
I can't tell you how many texts I got from Monty about how much he missed the stream on Friday.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I enjoyed the day off. It was free, and I actually only made a couple $100 in my XFA Friday, but I traded three combines and two 150s. I got $4,500 out of two 150s, and I got 3,000 out of 100. So I will take that as a win every day. And they actually came a little bit, probably around 10 o'clock when I actually made the best money on them.
Every day we take that.
Yep.
So your orb range was only about 10 points, which heading right into data. So honestly, I may do given data is the next candle, I may do a 20-minute orb, not a 15.
We're still struggling with this trend line here. This little trend.
NQ getting a little pop, but it's just struggling to break this EMA. Feels like
Let's look. All right, while we're still waiting, we're not in trade yet. You look overall, you see we're pretty much sideways. Yeah, we've had breaks here or there. If you look at the 5-minute overall, since I guess what that was Thursday, we've kind of just been in the range here. So all right, you're getting a break above the trend now, but you've got your EMA cluster here. So and we might have to adjust this little trend again. We'll see. You could probably do it and catch those right there. So you can look at it one way and say, hey, the trend is holding as resistance, or you can look at it this way and say, hey, your trend's holding support.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we always say things are subjective. Different people can look at it a different way. Then you could also do, if you want to catch it right, let's take that out, because y'all know I like zones better than lines. So let's take this whole area here and here, and there's your trend zone. That is strong.
Yeah. About 30 seconds, 15 seconds, sorry. Till data.
Yep, here we come. So we got the juice pulled up here. Let's see exactly what they say. PMI flash 55.4, forecast is 55.2, previous 55.7. That was services. Manufacturing PMI came in at 47. Forecast is 48.6, previous is 47.9. So you've got a little bit of mixed data here, don't you?
Yeah. And you're getting a indecision candle.
Yep. If you're looking though, both. Let's see. Service PMI was higher than forecast, but below previous. Manufacturing was below forecast and below previous. So your manufacturing is ugly looking, and your PMI flash, your services is kind of blah. So all right.
Interesting enough, we got a spike on calls here. On that data. Not sure.
Let's see. So we're back. This little zone we drew here. We're in this little zone. So what we want to see is what happens. We actually broke below the trend.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would like to see now, but the 50.5 is holding up here, and now we're coming back up to that trend. So I'm gonna wait for this next candle. This is I'm gonna tell you guys, this is an ugly candle so far, but we've still got 3 minutes left in this candle, so anything could happen here. So whatever this candle does, we're gonna look, and you could actually. So if we close below this level here, to kind of show you what I'm gonna look at. Actually, close below this one. If we get a close below this one, then we're going to play this candle by candle, and we would actually look for a short right back up in this area if we close below that one.
So your calls spiking a little bit. I think I messed this up. General market tide has calls falling, puts rising, and holdings has calls slightly falling and puts falling. So again, kind of mixed signals all throughout.
Interesting. And now you look, we come back. So this is no longer, right now, it's not a screaming bearish candle. It's actually sitting turn green. So looking for this short in this area is now gone. So I can actually remove these.
Yeah, NQ just broke VWAP.
So now you're looking for, it shows you now we're looking for a close above previous candle. If it does that, so if it gets to close below previous candle, looking for a pullback to maybe in this area here for a long.
That's why you wait till the candle closes.
Absolutely. I can't tell you the times that in the old days lost money and because I just rushed things.
Calls are rising, puts are falling now. General market tide, puts pretty dramatically fell there. Holdings, same thing. Both on both calls spiked again. Calls are spiking. Puts are falling. So I think just retest on VWAP. It's not bad. Not a pretty candle though on the 3.
Yeah, it's not a pretty candle here, and we're waiting. I mean, we're right here. I mean, we're to the point where it's still a no trade until we get a break one way or the other. And we're not getting it. So
yeah, calls are spiking, puts are falling. Puts continue to fall on both holdings and general market tide. So I think,
and we might end up getting this. Look, we got this close. Look, it closed above it. So now what you would look for is I want to see it pull back here. And then if we show strength, I'll take a long out of it. I want to come below this candle first, though. Then you could actually, if you want to be safe, you can take the long when it breaks back above.
Point of control is right here. We're currently at it 55.771.75 is.
I didn't want one. I want 5. Sorry. Y'all saw me just take a bunch at once, and I didn't want one. I forgot I was in the combine, and I don't take one in the combine.
So I'm going to enter one here at the point of control at 771.50.
So I've entered here. I'm going to take this off. We're in 4. I've got my first take profit. I'm going to actually move it right there. So if it breaks this candle here, it'll get my first take profit. And we'll just scale in and out all the way up if it does it. Can't get any continuation. CBD is negative. Got to negative 2,200. Now it's back to negative 17, negative 19. It's kind of jumping all over the place, which is kind of obvious by the candle. And then we're going to
tick down and then tick right back up. puts had a small tick up.
If
Yeah,
we break
VWAP.
that, actually, if we break this area is what I should look at. But
You got NQ testing VWAP right now.
I'm gonna get my 5 if it's a fill. There we go. Now I might come straight down to it, but we're gonna pull this down to this level.
NQ.
And we'll see. So this is why we have a stop. This could go against us. It could pop up. We're watching this little area right here is where we're at. So do.
NQ with a wick off of VWAP, went a little bit below and then wicked off, similar to ES, same candle. So they're in lockstep right now. So if we can get continuation off this move, that would be a strong signal. You got flow, you got puts kind of ticking up again. Calls are ticking up as well on general market tide. On holdings, they're very wide apart. Calls ticking up, puts kind of trending flat.
So here we are. We're just to watch it. We're gonna trade. Feel decent about it. I don't like CBD creeping up like it is negative 2,000 now. That's not
Calls
the best.
Again, spiking.
It's coming down. We'll test this low here that we drew here. So don't want to see this area. Don't want to see a candle close below this. And if it does, we'll cut this trade probably, more than likely. They are pushing it. They're fighting it back up every time. CBD still creeping to the downside, negative 21. Still not getting a clear move either direction with it, though. So it is what it is. We've got about 45 seconds left in this candle before it closes, before we know a true. Would love to see it close above this white line here. That would give me a lot more confidence in this trade. A lot more confidence in this trade.
It rejected the point of control that I had originally entered, so I was basically flat. Now it's coming back up to test it. NQ still holding above VWAP, but not running away. Calls ticking down, puts ticking down. Volume though increasing on calls, so the premiums are ticking down. So you just had some slowing of buying on both calls and puts there.
And we open right in that candle, so right below that, which I don't really like, but we didn't break that last one. So
yeah, NQ holding above VWAP, as is ES. Now we're fighting the point of control line. But
I would definitely love to take these first few off here. I wish we could get that bounce. And if we can get the bounce right here, if we get this break, we should see it run up to this next one, too high day, overnight high. If we can get this as the break we're watching here, and you can see that little zone there too. So this is the area that we're concerned with. If it takes this one, we should get that one. But it's not necessary if it takes this one that we get this one, if that makes any sense to you guys. In this little zone, this candle by candle theory here, it's still just not breaking clear of it. So oh yeah, another shameless plug. If anybody hadn't watched Bad Monkey on Apple TV, it's got Vince Vaughn in it, and it's got a few other notable characters in it, and it is phenomenal. I think the season finale is this Wednesday. I binge watched 7 episodes yesterday, so it is a great show. Love it. Vince Vaughn's just funny. I think Vince is just a funny.
I've always liked him, and he had an interview recently. Not to get too off track, but he was saying how comedy is dying because everybody just can't take jokes, and they want slapstick humor and not.
He's real big on the rom-com's dead. We need to bring rom-com back.
Yeah.
We had some news come out. So you had Fitch ratings come out. Fed rate cuts are still likely to be modest overall in the easing cycle. So that's what it's worth. And then the S&P Flash PMI report. Employment fell for a second month running in September and has now fallen in 4 of the past 6 months. That said, the overall decline was only very modest and less than reported in August amid reduced job losses in the services economy. The decline in service jobs was often linked to difficulties replacing leavers, though the addition of new staff was curbed by uncertainty about the outlook. And then Fitch came up, said cuts are same thing again. Cuts are likely to be modest overall in the easing, and they've got a report. I highly suggest if you don't subscribe to Financial Juice, it's $99 a year, which is nothing. And I get this immediately, and I know you can get it on Twitter, but it's 15 to 20 seconds delayed on Twitter, and they do that on purpose for their subscribers here. And you might think, well, 15 to 20 seconds. You might say 15 to 20 seconds is not much. If you're in a trade, 15 to 20 seconds is a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. So it's $99, and they have the best service. The actual owner and the creator of Financial Juice will reach out to you with, if you have any questions, concerns, you actually email and talk directly to him on everything. Super cool guy. So, a little plug on Financial Juice here.
Yeah, as a guy that loves his product, right? He's all about it.
Yep.
Market side, you got calls spiking, puts falling. General on holdings, you got a little downtick on calls and puts falling.
CBD has come back to negative 1800, by the way, while we're talking on this. So
yeah, it bodes well for a move up, but it just is not able to break out. Now you're getting the NQ testing announced below VWAP, so you're getting a pullback here.
Yeah, frustrating part is we got there, and if you can see, we got one tick from that first take profit and didn't get it. So
calls ticking down on general market tide, but puts not really following, just kind of ticking flattish.
We're going to zoom in a little bit. We know what the past is. So this is the area we're worried about. This is the actual area we talked about this morning being a spot to possibly look at. And so far that is coming true. No break from open. I mean, we're kind of we're just still hee-hawing around the same spot. CBD's coming back now, negative 22. So we might get a good drop here.
Getting a move. Yep.
And then of course we got in this little zone we were talking about, and so far what's happening is holding the support. So that's why I have my stop below the zone here.
Yeah, calls dropping a little bit, puts slightly rising on general. Holdings, similar story, but doesn't really indicate that big of a drop should have happened. But
CBD negative, it got to negative 25. Now it's back to negative 21.
Look at that. This would be a very strong candle if this closes like this.
And we still got
early.
Anything here. This is what we're talking about too. Let's look at the 1 minute. Look at that 1 minute close. My gosh. There's your story there.
Potential cross up on MACD on the 3 minute. Kind of did a pump fake there. Calls are rising again. Puts are falling.
Hey, took out my first take profit.
Look at that.
On the ugliest candle of the day. Comes back and takes out a take profit. Let's get this second one. And if we get this second one, we should have a decent move up to that one anyway.
So
Let's see what we do. I don't know.
point of
This is a key
control,
one here.
772
In all
right now on
honesty,
point of control.
this probably should be right there.
Calls with a strong move up.
We are about $2,300 away from passing this combine, so it could be done today, but we're not going to force it. If we get it, we get it. If not, we will live to fight another day.
All right.
All
Stop basically at break even now.
right, I got that one. So I'm still looking for this break. This break right here gets me there. We are 1,800 away from passing this combine now.
Calls are rising, puts are falling.
CVD is negative 900 now.
So you had a little bit of a pretty strong fake out there.
Yeah.
74.25 is the fib line.
Looking at Bookmap too, 57.80 is, if it can break that, we've definitely got a runner on our hands. But it's going to be looks like it's going to be a strong level to break.
See a pullback to probably point of control again. But we'll see. Calls are indicating not. Calls are flying. Puts are dropping. That was a nasty fake out on the drop.
It was one of those candles where you look and you're like, oh my God, this is so ugly. And it's like, oh my God, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And then just like that too.
Now it's pushing. Can't quite break this 75. We'll see.
I promise you, I love here. We drew, just us talking, we drew this zone this morning.
Yeah.
Twice. It gives you really good entries off this zone if you would have taken entries off that zone. That is, I'm going to pat myself on the back on that one. That one worked out. It doesn't always work out like that. But crazy thing is, you're getting this move. Apple is just dying over here.
Is it? Let me look at general market stuff. Up. Yeah, Nvidia basically flat. Google's doing the Google thing, always up. Tesla, wow, up 3.5%, almost 250. We got 248 this morning.
Wow,
246.50. Good for Tesla. You know, though, the winner that no one's talking about, PayPal, up another 2.4% at 78.60.
oh really?
Yeah, gotta move. Want to move. Good for PayPal.
So now so our candle by candle theory. So we could leave this here, but it's just cluttering up the chart at this point because it's not needed anymore. Because we're actually on a different candle by candle. So if you did want to play a candle by candle, I don't really. You could possibly this area right here. If it comes back here, could possibly be a good long spot. You can see we're still this zone that we drew last week, or sorry, this one I drew overnight because of this area. We got right up to it, rejected, close to it. So we're struggling to get past this little area. So that's your key breakout you're looking for now to the long side if you want to see continuation for the rest of the day. Something you could see this week too. I don't know if we'll see it today. It could be today, tomorrow, Wednesday. I expect to see it before Thursday. I expect to see profit takers take profit, and I expect to see a lot of shorts cover at some point.
Oh yeah.
Because now, like I said, like we said, you've got everybody in these December contracts now. So
I'd like to see a retest of that point of control and it hold
What was your point of control? What was the area? What number was that?
7150.
7150. Okay.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
still
there's
got 3. We're going to actually move this stop up to here now. So now we're risking $50 because if it comes back and takes this out, we will probably look to re-enter at some point anyway. So we're going to move this stop up to this level here. And like I said, it could come back and take us out pretty quick, but if we do, we still had a positive day. But I would need to relook at my thesis at this point. So that's why I moved it up.
puts are falling. You're not seeing anybody buying puts right now. They're just falling. Call volume spiking on general market side. Yeah, put premiums just through the floor. NQ is kind of hanging out right above VWAP.
Right, yeah, right above their opening orb too. So right at it. I mean, like right on top of it.
You had a MACD cross up about.
It's amazing. So ES and NQ completely different, but if you just look at the orbs, they're so similar.
Yeah. So
Both of them are right at the orb high. Just struggling to get above it though. We can't get a clean break on either one really above it.
So in these scenarios, you'd really just want to be managing a position, not entering positions. So
yeah,
that's something that I've always struggled with. Is if I'm not in a position right now, there's no point to be trying to jump in quickly into one.
there's that high test, and it's that zone test. CBD is negative 500 now.
Calls are dropping, or sorry, calls are rising, puts are dropping.
Said a minute ago, if we get this break, this is the break that could send us up there. So there's a break.
Got about 50 seconds on this candle. Could be ballsy and take a short.
You're going to be ballsy to do that one. Even though it is rejecting it, so we got the break, but it did not hold the break. So CBD down to negative 400, negative 500, negative 600. So it's gaining. Shorts are trying to push us back.
Flow not following this move down, this rejection down. It's actually saying the opposite of look to get in. So you could see.
Yeah, that was so if you're looking for a candle, this is your indecision candle, and it's actually slightly bearish.
Yeah.
But we still can't get the move off of it yet. So typically what you would see here is you would want to look for a reversal to come back. And then you could actually move up to there. So now here's the break you would look. You want to see this hold now, this area, which is right at EMAs. It's everything. So we're going, this is going to take me out probably, but I'm going to move it to break even on this.
Point of control is now 71. Looks like we had a test of that and a slight wick up, but NQ just broke through VWAP. I think you're about to get.
Yeah, it's probably fixed. Well, I keep saying this. It got 2 ticks from taking me out there. We haven't got to close below this level yet, so that's actually, this is bullish so far.
NQ battling VWAP now is now above it. Wow, it just bounced right off of that point of control so far. 3-point bounce. I imagine. Flow, same story. I mean, it's not drastic as far as the current move, but just trend is calls outweighing puts by a mile.
We move the stop up to here. We're guaranteed $500-600 on the trade now, no matter what.
Nice move up here off of that VWAP test on NQ.
Yeah, it's just a little surprising after this candle getting this move here. It shows you that it's not a perfect science every time. So that's
Yeah.
why you wait for candle closes and you wait for moves one way or the other.
Calls pushing up higher now, setting new highs, premiums, volumes out off the charts on general market side. Same on holdings. So it's
And
all
look, one of the reasons here I have a take profit here, and I said that if we break here, we'd possibly go here. Remember in the past we've talked about they don't like overnight highs or lows holding. If they're good close to them, usually it's going to take them out, and then you would look for it to go above and come back in this zone. Then you want to see if this zone is going to hold a support to go long off of, or if it's going to break back down and take a short on. That's where we're at. That's what I'm looking for. Patience, patience, patience. You can see we were patient this morning. We got in a 5 lot around the 50, 71, 75 area, and we've moved it up in profit. Now we are just playing the day out to see if we can get this break up here. If we get this break up here, I'm going to continue to move my stops up with it. And this is 3.5 minutes in, and we're getting, you notice these candles are still giving us indecision, even with the moves we're getting. So
you
and
had
it
one
might
take profit at the zone, right? The zone
do what
entry.
now?
You had
Do
one
what?
take profit at the zone entry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've already gotten that one. Yes, I had to take profit at this fib, and I had to take profit here. Actually, it was right. Yeah, at this high here.
Nice.
So yeah, we've taken 2 lots off. We're still holding 3. Like I said, we're guaranteed no worse than like 570, 580, 600. We'll say 600 because we're traders. We round up.
Of course. NQ battling VWAP again. That's another test. Let's see if it holds again.
NQ cannot. If you look at the orb on NQ, it just cannot break the orb high.
Yeah. It may push down to see if they can get some buyers here. You got MACD kind of curling down as well.
Yeah, this might be the time they actually take me out this time, but I'm okay with it. There it is.
Small.
Took me out. So 650 is where it is. But I'm gonna be honest with you. Looking here, if we get back, I would probably see this hold and back above this 71, 75, then I would possibly look to add longs again.
Point of control. It's currently at ES right now. So we'll see if it can be a little bounce zone again. NQ is now below VWAP. Put slight rise, call slight dip, which
If you look at Bookmap, you got a ton of orders here. They just pulled 65, which is in this zone again here. Actually, they just moved those orders. Interesting. These orders are very, very interesting here. 65 has right at 450 orders sitting at it.
Yeah, so you popped right back up to point of control. We'll see if it can hold it.
Goolsby, the jobless rate is at levels many consider as full employment. Labor market deterioration typically happens quickly. Keeping rates at a decade high does not make sense when you want things to stay where they are. Many more rate cuts are likely needed over the next year. Rates need to come down significantly.
So
Feds are speaking.
We know where he stands. So he is in the camp of bigger cuts.
Yep. And you notice we're still at this area, and we can't. This is what I'm looking at here.
Yeah, you got.
You possibly could look for a short on the VWAP break, but then like we said, you got to be careful in this area.
NQ about to retest VWAP. You got ES held that point of control line so far, 71. Candle has not closed yet. Tide starting
We're back
to
above,
fear.
back above this, so I'm not going to enter a position yet. I need to change this to 5 anyway. I like that better. Oh man.
Yeah, I'd say relatively. I mean, just chop start. I mean, yeah, we nailed some of those wicks and stuff, but it's not been a clean chart.
Oh.
So far.
So far, we're not
Call
getting
volume just dropped. Sorry, call volume just dropped off a cliff. It was. Let me refresh. I mean, it's premiums are not falling, but the volume fell quite a bit. Premiums are rising. So this is that little thing at the bottom, the volume chart just went way down compared to what it was all morning. Now holdings doesn't show that drop. So with any software, you wonder if it's a data error or not, but something to keep in mind.
Yeah. This is pretty strong on that move here. If it holds this candle, which this is, we got a minute left in it.
Yeah, that's a good move. It held that point of control, and NQ now back above VWAP. A little pump fake on the MACD. It curled down and then curled right back up.
Look at this guy. Oh, I didn't take it, and I called it out too. We had right there on the level. I called the level. Sit there and watched it. Watched it go right back.
There it goes.
Yep, and what are we fixing
day.
to do now? We should take this high out here shortly, I would expect. Might not, but I expect it to.
NQ still struggling, not breaking out.
You son of a god, you.
It sets up so nicely sometimes, but I think the hardest thing is when you get stopped out and it kind of messes with you, right? Because you shouldn't, when you get stopped out, shouldn't re-enter a trade right away. Shouldn't. Now, that seems to be when I get my worst losses is just getting stopped out and re-enter, getting stopped out and re-entering. So, do you normally wait a few candles after you get stopped out, or are you one that says the trend?
I have done a lot. I've done it different ways. I like to wait because you get your emotions when you get stopped out. You've got emotions there, so it's always best if you can take a look back and look at this.
Yeah.
We get the high.
Look at that.
It's always best if you can just step back and take a look. But hey, give me 1 second here. I've got something I got to take care of.
No problem.
Just talk for 1 second, Roy.
Well, this is the part of the segment where we do our market recap, where I go updating what the regular market does. But as you see, a little pullback here from the high, emphasis on little. NQ looks like it may want to retest VWAP. We'll see if it does. But look at that, hit his target right at the top there and then rejected. That's pretty remarkable. All right, let's go through this. Coin green, it's up 1%, 172, basically chopping around. Apple looks to be coming back. It's only red by 0.3%. It had gotten down almost $1.20 from the, or almost $2 from the high to low spread today. Amazon flat, just up 22 cents. Nvidia's flat, just up 11 cents, but recovering. These all look like they want to join the party, and this is probably why you'll get a little push up. You look over to Tide. Holdings calls are spiking, puts are dropping. Um, Same thing on general market Tide, and that volume is now starting to pick back up. So I don't know if that was an anomaly or what, but a little weird there. NQ still hasn't pushed to its high, but it's about 20 seconds from doing that. Yeah, it's battling 20,100 right now, which is pretty incredible to say out loud, actually. But yeah, your Mag 7 is all looking pretty strong now from an earlier dip. Let's see if Apple can turn green. Nvidia's green, but flirting, just staying there. Microsoft slight red. We'll see. We'll see. No point in chasing. Oh, there's your high on NQ, new high on ES. And there it goes. Flow matches this move. Spike on calls, drops on puts. You're getting a nice strong move here off of that zone he had drawn. So I'll see if we get a retest of that high. See if we can hold it. I'm trying to look for an entry here, and I'm not seeing one obvious. You could go to the previous high of 57.78, 57.77 range, which is kind of the bottom of that zone. But just as fast as it can go up, can come right back down. So you don't want to chase it up here unless you have strong conviction. Calls continue to rise, puts continue to fall. MACD's now separated itself. It's just straight up. No bullish or no bearish pattern there. Actually, kind of a pump fake. Was about to hint at a bearish action and didn't do it. Yeah. Yup. I got stopped. I made $66 on that original trade I did on an XFA. I haven't made a trade since. I'm just hanging out, waiting for any sort of clear signal, re-entry. And part of the game is you're going to miss some of these moves, which stink when that happens, especially as much as we watch the charts and as we follow it. And one thing I'm working on is it's okay to miss a move. It's not okay to rush a trade. So if you feel like you've missed the move, that's fine, but make sure you're not rushing a trade to make up for that missed move. You've got to keep yourself in check because you're going to regret the wrong move more than you are going to regret the missed move. So we're always trying to learn from our past mistakes. At least I am. It's one of those moments where you just have to grow as a trader. You're not going to get every move. See, Dickard, good stuff, guys. I got a VWAP test, previous high. All right, stop having nice. Previous move down. Nice job. Nice job. Just watching this. Let's see. I got a pullback now down. Flow does not match this pullback down. You got a slight move down on calls, slight uptick on puts. You've got VWAP retest coming on NQ. And We'll see how ES handles this pullback, see if it can continue to show strength. I don't have the data, but I assume CBD is probably falling just a hair, but it's still pretty bullish. So they're looking for dip buyers here. And this is why you don't rush a trade, right? If you would have rushed it on that huge breakup, thinking we're going to all-time highs again, you would have got yourself in a pickle right now, wondering where to go from. So now you're getting a retest on NQ on the 8. That 8 ribbon has gone green. Welcome back.
Hey, Roy. Hey.
You had quite the move up, a strong
I
move
see
up,
that.
then retesting down. So now we're looking for entries.
And if you were looking, here was your entry.
And then candle by candle.
Yep. But, and then of course, if it broke here, it would be invalidated. So, interesting. We will see how this plays out. Actually, I will leave these up just for the moment. And we'll play it out by ear. We're not going to chase it back up here, but if we do come back down a little, we might look. CBD is to the plus side, plus 600.
That's what I was assuming. I said it probably is on the plus side. The NQ is flirting with its 8 EMA. It's looks like it's holding slightly. The 8 is now above VWAP and obviously bent up given this giant move up. Not giant, but a strong
Oh,
move
it's
up.
so annoying. This is, I
Yeah.
called it breaking.
Right there. There's video evidence of it.
We can actually remove these fibs, and we're going to draw them from here to here now. So what I want to see, I missed it. If we do come back here, I will look to enter. And once this candle closes, we will change these up. So we're going to get an entry in the next 50 seconds, or we wait for the next candle.
NQ with a pretty strong candle on the 3-minute. It's kind of coming back now. It's still got
finally
30
broke
seconds
out.
left.
Finally broke out and got a close above the orb high. All right, we're going to put an order in around the 76.50 area. We'll do 77. So if it comes back and fill, that's right below here. We would put our stop. We would move it up to about here. So, but it didn't fill yet. So if it closes here in the next few seconds, we might take these off and look for a different entry spot.
Flow, just nonstop calls, just going up. That anomaly of the dip has now pretty much recovered almost all of it.
Yeah, and if you're trading true candle by candle, you would actually look here now where it's at. I'm going to leave it here at this one, but it got right there to it.
NQ holding 20,100 or testing 20,100 right now. Yes, Apple's about to turn green.
Wow, I just looked. My goodness.
Yeah.
So now you've got 5 of the 7 are green. The only ones down are Apple, 0.1%.
Yeah.
And NVIDIA, 0.2%.
Yeah, and you got Microsoft slightly red. I've actually got NVIDIA green right now. Or no, sorry, am I looking at Google?
Red here, 0.19.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
Microsoft.
right there. Sorry, I'm looking wrong. Microsoft's red. NVIDIA is green. You're correct.
Yeah.
Tesla, 4%.
Yeah, Tesla's a star today.
Up almost $10. Oh my goodness. Meta.
Yeah.
750 up. All right, we're in a trade. We're going to move this right below, right there. We're going to move this up. We only need, actually, so if we hit there, we actually hit our, so if we break all-time high, we actually get this account funded.
Boom.
So we're going, it needs to be a little higher than that. We're going to leave it right there. That will fund this account. So we're fixing to find out it's a good trade, a bad trade. I would love to get one funded. We talked about getting it funded by Friday, but getting funded on a Monday is always a good thing too. But don't take us out.
Problems. I entered a long on a combine there as well. This combine I have is about 800 from passing. So I'm pretty aggressive with my stops, as you know.
Yes, I do.
Nice little retest here on NQ's retested that 8 ribbon is kind of bouncing. It's battling 20,100 though. It's having trouble breaking out from 20,100. Feels like when it does, it's going to be violent.
Very well could be.
But for a violent move, it may require another phantom drop. Hopefully not, though. Yes, kind of.
Yep. We shall see here. It's not getting a breakout, but it's kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of lingering.
It's not running away. CBD's plus 200, 300 now. It's hanging around this area.
Little spike in puts on General Tide. Spike as well on calls, but nothing.
Like in the VIX too, so you know. This could take me out here.
Yeah, I think so too, and probably. Yep.
There
it goes. Just took me out. Well, NQ is now testing VWAP, which is probably where you're going to get the bounce, which is probably where it just took us out. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to see if it'll get back in here. I don't like jumping right back into a trade, but I think we could possibly pop back up. I think the EMA is a hold. So if we do get back in here, I'll put my stop right below VWAP at this 382 level probably.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You got the MACD doing its curl down. Still got a ways to go before it does a cross on the curl down, but it is doing that. It's been pump faked, and it just exploded higher. So no promises that it may get a strong move down here though. NQ retested VWAP. I know it hasn't retested VWAP. It looks like it's same candle, just now holding above it. Calls, slight drop on calls, general market tide, and
CBD's going back negative.
Yeah, you could get a push down here to see where the buyers are at.
Very well could, for sure. See if we break this 8. This 21, sorry. Struggling right around it right now. CBD's back to negative 600, so we could see a nice drop here. And this candle here definitely could have been your reversal candle for the day.
NQ battling VWAP right now. It closed the last 3-minute candle right on it, and his next candle has been green. So we'll see. ES point of control is at 72.
You're looking at 3-minute, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because you'll say something like about a green candle, and I look, and I'm like, oh, we're on different time frames. Different time frames here. Different time frames here. But
Calls dropped a little bit. You've got MACD getting close to a cross, and then you see this pop up that backs it off
CBD's
a little
popping
bit.
back to negative 200, fixing to go positive again. Oh, we need to move you up, baby. What you doing down there? We will put a take profit. So we didn't scale in, but we will put a take profit there. I like it at this level. And then 82 level, we'll put one. And then that 84.50 level. And then we'll let these others, if that does happen, we'll let it ride up. So we got back to our loss. Now we're back to about where we were a minute ago. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. We need this break
Yeah,
up. I definitely want to see it break up.
yeah. Honestly, I'm not seeing much here to merit any sort of XFA trading. Just
No,
combines, paper trading. It's been pretty tough sledding so far today. As far as well, we say that we just haven't quite followed our zones properly.
hey, so some
Slight.
breaking news. Hong Kong is to create a panel to name giant pandas being gifted to the city of Beijing. That should
To
market.
avoid the dogs.
France's new energy minister pursues shift away from fossil fuels. Okay, we know how that'll turn out.
Yeah, wouldn't
Goolsby
recommend.
said at 9:30, which what time is it now? We're at 9:38, so 10 minutes ago, which is when we got that moved down pretty much, that it's a little bit of a cautionary period, and that the rise in delinquencies is also a warning sign.
NQ retesting VWAP again. Slight tick down on calls. You did get
Yeah,
your
EF
cross on MACD now.
CBD's negative 900, by the way. So it's gaining a little bit of momentum to the downside if it can hold it here. Still having trouble holding this 21 break. We'll see. Looks like it might do it. Now here's the VWAP test. And we are out. We are 1,500 for the day. So now we've been bullish all morning, right? So we're at this 382. You got to look, if we get the VWAP test, you can look for an entry back up here or on this break down for short. CBD is negative 1,500 now. What's Tide showing?
Tide showing a slight downtick in calls, uptick in puts on both holdings and general market side, but volume still very much in favor of calls. But there is a slight bend here that is notable. So we said for it to do a violent break, it may have to do another push down. So
Actually, I would.
definitely just saw a
So
push down.
if you're playing candle by candle, you're looking for a short in this area now, though.
I don't know. Zone VWAP.
You got a lot, don't you?
Yeah. NQ retesting VWAP right now. It's just coiled itself around. MACD supports your short. On the down, Tide is, calls are dropping. Not strong, but they are dropping. Puts are kind of steadily rising.
We hit that area, so do we look for a short up here? Is the question.
NQ now over VWAP and pushing. Um, ES now over. ES had that VWAP test and then just went for it, didn't it? So we're
VWAP was the play there.
getting close to some.
I am not going to take a short here.
Yeah, you got puts kind of did to have a tick down. Calls had a tick up. Again, flow is very much in favor of calls, though. Just that's the history of the day, not so much the current trend.
So now what you're looking for a break. So typical candle by candle, you want to see an engulfing one come up. This is so far a bullish engulfing candle so far. If it can stay up this area here. Now we've still got 3.5 minutes left, so anything could happen on this candle. Typically, if you want to take another long, if you want to say that this is going to hold, you want to see this candle close up in this area. If it doesn't, it could be another move down.
NQ testing VWAP again on the way down. Flow still pretty bullish. You're not getting any moves on puts that are scary. NQ bounced right off of its VWAP and said, "We're good."
Interesting.
Looks like NQ now wants to retest that 20,100 level that it struggled with.
So here's your bullish engulfing. It's just so frustrating when you. I had my stop where it had to be. It went right to my stop and bounced. So should I had it a little lower? Possibly, but you know what? Hell, it is what it is.
Yeah, here comes NQ ticking up. Calls are ticking up. Puts are ticking down again. NQ testing that 20,000.
Look at this move.
Yeah. Yep. Zone and VWAP was your.
That's perfect, wasn't it? That's perfect. Oh, I've got some other things going on that's kind of got me a little perturbed right now. So
That's always tough. The market's tough enough. You don't want to battle the market when you've got other stuff going too.
yeah, worst thing you can do is trade when you're pissed off, and I kind of did a little bit there. It's all good.
Kind of upset, yeah.
We're back. We got it. Look, we're ready to go. We're actually going to look for another long again.
Yeah, I was gonna say
get this close.
We've got
so
now MACD crossing back up.
I want to see it come down and test this area to take a long. If we get it.
NQ break now above 20,100. We said that was kind of that thing it was struggling with forever.
Yep.
It's now up 6. Calls with a move up, puts with a move down. How's CVD?
Negative 300. We're going to see if we can get along right on that line.
NQ could not hold above 20,100. It's now retesting it again.
But it is above open range, so
yes,
that's a key to keep an eye on.
And above VWAP, of course.
Guys, seriously, if you don't mark your open range is so valuable. Oh, look where it came back. Didn't come back quite far enough to fill me for long.
Yeah, I think flow is pushing up. NQ battling still. It's at the top of its Bollinger Band. You got a slight bend in VWAP and ES to the upside as well. Slight, very slight. That little drop kind of flattened it, but what is the order showing on Bookmap?
57.85 is really the highest of the spot. That's where you're. But then you've got 57.90, 57.95, 5800, 5820 still. Low side, you still got the 57.75, which you can see I have an order at 57.76. So, hey, Roy, glance at our chat real quick.
Yep.
You got a little Snoop.
What in the world?
Yeah.
We can enjoy.
Not trying to be coy here, folks, but it is. Oh my gosh.
You get some news that makes you say, "Huh?" Right? That's that old '90s song. Things that make you say,
Look,
"Huh."
to put it this way, guys, I am really confused on what's happening in other places. So. Really confused.
Yeah, never like that. Never like that. When middle of a football game and they say, pass interference is now going to be a spot foul in college and not a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah.
Just because.
No, actually, what you get is, hey, pass interference, it's going to be a no penalty.
Right. right. No penalty.
No penalty anymore.
Change the rules in the middle of the game.
Unless the opposite team does it, then it's a penalty.
Exactly. Yes.
Oh, you gotta love it. Got to love it. Gotta love it.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, are we going to get filled this time? Yes, no, maybe. All right, we're done there. So we're just hanging out. It's 9:50. This has actually been a quick morning, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. It kind of ran right through.
Yeah, that's what happens when you actually, we went the first part of the stream talking about, hey, it might be a slow stream, and then the last half of the stream,
Bam.
Hey, we've taken all these trades. Apple is just soaring now. My gosh.
Really?
Yeah, they're actually up 0.37% now. Everything is up, but actually, Nvidia has turned slightly red, but looks like they're fixing to remedy that situation too.
Yeah, I think you may get a pretty strong move here if I think NQ does another retest of 20,100 and it's probably off to the races.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm tempted to move this up slightly to this area here because that's where it's wanting to pop at. Right there. That's at the bottom of this candle, so we can take this away. And while we're at it,
Right.
I
At that
adjust.
cluster.
Because sometimes when I have a take profit, when I'm trading 5 lots, because I move my stop loss, and y'all guys, you can't see this. Let's see, show you what I'm doing here. If you look here, so I move my. I don't want you. My stop loss I've actually moved up so I can adjust it quicker without having to play around a lot with it. So
yeah.
Let's see. Wow. So
Yeah, NQ's holding above 20,100 now. I mean, it's flirted down there a few times, but it looks like it's found its little happy zone here. And you get the kind of that another one of those MACD bends where you look like it's about to cross and then it's bending up right before it's going to. I always hated those when I was bearish. Um, calls kind of staying up here. They're keeping their elevated volume, and puts are kind of trending still down, keeping its lack of thing. NQ now under 2100 testing, so see if any follow through.
CBD negative
Um,
900.
yeah, they got kind of an interesting spot here. I feel like it's just kind of toying with bears here to say, hey, you going to short? We're near that high. You going to short? Call still rising, put still falling. NQ with a nice pop here. Yeah, I think you're about to get a move here. I think you're about to get the move.
Yeah, and it came down almost to our entry again. Did not feel, and there's 3 points off this move so far off my entry. So that would be we'd be nicely in the profit again. And at this point, we can close these out. There's no need in leaving those there.
Yeah, NQ with a now flirting
So
with
we get
120,120. It got up there and then rejected a little bit, but we'll see if
Roy, look at this trend zone.
yeah. Yeah.
Love it, don't you? Gotta love it.
Yeah. The little pre-market trend zone coming in hot. Wow. And then the beautiful one is the uptrend zone.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
Uh,
not drawn with those candles in there. That was drawn earlier.
right. Well, I mean, just think here. So we drew this morning, right? This little
Yeah.
area here,
Yeah.
and look at it since. It's just been right on it almost, pretty much to the penny. Oh, we might should have had one there. I don't know. I'm a leery, being this high, I'm leery taking a long.
Yeah. NQ back at 20,100. It's retesting. It's 8 EMA. Um, MACD starting to cross on, or sorry, MACD bending down on ES and on NQ. I think NQ can hold this 20,100. That's almost a 25 point drop from its high.
We've put this order
Can
back in here at the 8 at this low zone. Want to see this zone hold. So if we were to get filled here, our stop is probably, in all honesty, is going to be below this candle here. So it's going to have a little room to move if it does. So if it goes against us, it could be bad. We got a few minutes. We're going up. We're in it. So we're going to adjust this down to right there. We're going to
NQ
adjust
under
this.
20,100. Put slight tick up, call slight tick down. Looking like you may get a MACD cross at to the downside here. We'll see though. You're now.
So we got a couple of take profits in if it'll get there. We'll see. We're still holding here. We'll see if it comes back. VWAP might have been a better play on that one, but CBD is negative 1,500, so this could actually be a very bad play. And still hold negative 1,500.
NQ bouncing off its 21 on the 3-minute for now. It's now retesting its 8.
It bounced right off the orb high, too, just so you know. I mean, to the penny on it, so.
MACD having a little cross down on ES on the 3-minute.
VIX with a pop. You got NVIDIA coming back. You got Microsoft is right at flat. NVIDIA is right at flat. Amazon, I mean, you're like a tenth of a point to the green or a tenth of a point red or 100th of a point red. So
yeah, that's all kind of. I mean, Tesla is.
Tesla is a strong one today. Yeah, $10, 10.50. So Meta's trying to join them. They're up almost $8 now.
Nice candle here on NQ and on ES actually.
Yeah, if we can get this, if they can get my profit here, getting my profit. There's one. There we go. There's one. Let's go on and break it. Look, it's at the top of this zone where it's struggling to break through. We have not got a close above that yet, so that might be the top of it. CBD's come back to negative 900, so it was negative 1,500. But it's not running away. I mean, it's just chilling. I mean, here you're really not getting can't use it much as an indicator right now, being this close to flat all day. I mean, it tells you, yeah, we're running pretty close, but if you look, this trend is still holding to the upside. As slow around as it is, as choppy as this is, we're still holding this trend up. Now, when we start getting 10:30 or so, this trend starts coming into this zone here. So that's going to be interesting to see if we break down below it before we get here or if it just keeps running it up all day. Fez Goolsby, the cut of 50 BPS to start makes sense. Consumer sentiment is not a good indicator of spending behavior. How in the world is it not?
What was the well, then what is it there for?
Well, yeah, why do we have it?
Yeah.
We are shifting back to a normal dual mandate mode.
NQ dropping a little bit here.
Coming back to the orb high.
Yeah, it's about to retest that orb high again.
Yes, it's still got a little ways to go before it's orb high. Its orb is around the 236 and the 21 here, so that would be the orb high test on it.
No real change in flow. Still
CBD still negative 1,000, negative 900. That kind of goes anywhere from negative 1,500 to plus 500. So good luck trading, fellas and ladies.
The MACD is now on top of one another on the 3-minute for ES, so that could have been some of that algo stuff you're seeing.
Goolsby. If continue like this, there are a lot of cuts to come over the next 12 months.
Wow. Sounds like somebody's declaring victory.
Sounds like somebody has calls.
Getting a test.
So the Fed, they're allowed to trade, right? Aren't they allowed to trade?
I think they're like blacklisted from certain ones, like, and they have to disclose it obviously like way in advance of their trade.
Okay.
So I don't it's funny how murky those rules are for the public to see. It's like, um, to be honest, I don't know all the ins and outs of what they have to declare, the time frame. I know Bostic, he was a famous one that messed up. He just recently messed up again. I saw.
Well, their fines are so minimal if they
Yeah,
don't disclose.
it's like, oh,
Hey,
they made
you made
$3 million on this
15 million dollars.
trade. Yeah,
Yeah, here's your $100,000 fine.
yeah. Um, Move down on calls here. Calls move down, puts tick up. So you're
CBD negative 1,300, so kind of
getting
rising
close.
a little.
NQ did test VWAP on this candle for me. We'll see if it can bounce. Yes, testing the 21. See if it bounces.
I'm just so this what I was telling you. I'm just so flabbergasted still.
Yeah, no, understandable.
We might get the VWAP test here. I'm gonna move that right at the 382. So in case it does come right below, it's right at this candle's low.
You're getting calls now starting to drop pretty strongly. And you've got the break of the MACD pointing down. NQ under VWAP. ES did bounce off point of control 57.72.25, but looks like it's retesting it now.
We
Which,
are a little past 10,
yeah,
so I think we're fixing to call it here anyway. Roy, are you good with that?
I think so. I think so. So we'll see if your zone holds up
Yeah,
as it's been
retested that
all
trend
day.
zone bounce so far, so we'll see what happens here. Guys, great day. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we had a really good day today. No XFA trades for me. I might look later. As of right now, I'm probably more than likely not going to. If I do, it's going to be a quick scalp to try to get $200 and get out of it. And I'll do a one-to-one risk reward. I'm not going to risk much. We might do less than one-to-one on it if I do try to do something. So
Yeah, I think that's a good play. I mean, I did trade one combine. It got smacked. So we'll see if we can recover it later. I
yeah,
did
we're in
trade an
one. We're down
XFA.
$1,800 so far down on it. So
Did trade an
we got
XFA for
5,500 to play with, and I've actually got 150K. That's 3,000 away. So I could actually another one I could trade it today, and then I'm 3,000 away from this one. So I might trade the other combines. We're going to see where this one finishes. This is more than likely going to be the last trade I have in this combine. Because if it does stop me out, it's going to hit my personal daily loss limit. Even though all it does is liquidate me, I'm not going to trade it anymore just because I don't want to lose it. I want to make sure I keep a good buffer so I can come back and still have a chance. Just fixing it. It just broke VWAP. It's fixing to take us out the bottom of this zone. We'll see. We'll see. So tune in tomorrow to see if money gets stopped out or if we come back up. Cliffhangers every day. Roy, thank you, sir, for everything. Ladies and
Thank you,
gentlemen,
man.
thank you all for the great day. Like I said, we went a little bit longer today, but it was a really good one. Hey, thanks for the guys in the chat, Howie, Roy Easy, y'all guys, perfect. We love talking to you there, and I got stopped out, so that account's done. So we'll close that out. No cliffhanger now. See if the other ones are green or red when you come back tomorrow. Guys,
Yeah,
we will catch you tomorrow. Roy, thank you for everything.
yeah,
Everybody, good
definitely,
luck
man.
the rest
Thank
of
you.
the day, and
Bye,
trade
guys.
safely.
Definitely.